We have discussed about Vata dosha in our previous video. Still, we haven't covered everything in that video at all. Let's dive a bit deeper. As we have mentioned, Vata could be the life force in our body. It initiates and governs all kinds of motions, including the nervous impulses, circulation of blood, etc. But it also has an entirely different aspect, the concept of the absence of a substance in our body, which means it represents the lack of something. If we compare it with the Kapha dosha, we can understand it a bit more. Now I'll be talking about Kapha, otherwise we will just be searching in the dark. So, Kapha, according to the Acharyas, it is composed of two Bhutas, Jala and Prithvi. Well, that's the philosophical aspect. That is basically the palpable forms of matter. You know what palpable forms of matter are, right? Or the palpable manifestations or the states of matter that can be perceived by all five senses of ours, including touch, which means the end one. Okay, I'll explain that in further videos. Which directly says that a dosha, in this case kapha, includes all the palpable matters in our body. Okay, keep the word in mind, that palpable matter. Or at least the substances that can be tasted and smelled. So, whatever substances in our body that come under these qualities can be considered as manifestations of Kapha dosha. As we have mentioned, these doshas are only code names for what they represent or of what they represent, or the functions or substances that are grouped under the code name. So, from the building blocks of cells to large organs, pretty much everything in our body can be considered as the manifestation of the Kapha dosha. So, let's say it could be. And wherever there is a lack or an abnormal reduction in the building blocks, we can say that the kaphaja substance in our body is reduced. Or essentially, kapha got reduced in that area. And we are back to Vata. Vata is said to be composed of Akasha and Vayu, which are basically the absence of palpable substances. Let's say the absence of solid and liquid, just for a reference. It's not that true or scientific explanation. Let's just say for the understanding. Okay. And we can say that Kapha and Vata are kind of opposite in the aspects of solid or liquid substance, as I've just said. This is only the structural aspect of Vata. The functional side was explained in a basic level in the previous video. Okay, let us put a pin in that for now. And we are going to the third dosha, Pitta. That's a whole different story. It is not exactly a matter or an absence or such. It kind of represents fire itself. Hold your horses, I'll be explaining that now. Since I have said fire, you probably understand that Pitta is composed of the Bhuta Agni. And what does Agni actually represent? It represents energy. Still, not all forms of energy. It has a clear-cut definition in the Vedas, which help us in understanding the deeper level meaning of it. The definition says that fire is that which can do two things. First one is that it can create light. We won't be considering that in our case, as humans are not exactly bioluminescent. Well, for cold-blooded animals, we are kind of. Okay, I will explain that. We are like a walking heat source for the cold-blooded animals' perspective. Haven't you watched nature documentaries where snakes hunt their prey? Reptiles see using infrared, which is essentially heat rays. So, the heat-producing source or the entity that enables us in producing that light can be called as Pitta. Oh wait, there's a second function, which is kind of pointless now, as you have already got the idea that the production of heat could be the second function. But that alone can qualify it as the Agni mentioned in the Vedas. Even if there isn't heat, Agni must be able to bring transformation. Okay, I will explain what transformation means in this case. In this case, transformation is a change of state. Like in digestion, the polysaccharides are becoming monosaccharides. Or in layman's terms, sugar becomes glucose. And same goes with fats, proteins, etc. And these become enzymes, hormones, bodybuilding materials, etc. as their end product. So, whatever causes the transformation of one of the substances to another in our body, okay, let's say even in the nature, can be considered as Pitta or the function of Pitta. Okay, I could talk about these doshas for hours, which I will be doing in later videos. This is already too much for one video. Okay, bye bye.